Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. It is your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Reach out to me directly for pricing. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com. Today, we're discussing a 2016 launch, 20 pieces in rose gold. This is the Louis Chopard Perpetual Chrono, 45 millimeters in diameter of Fairmind certified rose gold. The watch is 15.4 millimeters thick from lug tip to lug tip, 54.6 millimeters with a 22 millimeter spacing between the lugs. Now this is a serious timepiece. It has a moon phase with moon orbit, with perpetual calendar, with big date, chronometer, Geneva hallmark, flyback chronograph. It is all of those things and masterfully crafted, but it is big, which is why I think you need a wrist of 17 centimeters circumference to wear this watch well. And my wrist here you can see is 16 centimeters, and I guess we'll zoom out a little bit, give you a better sense of proportion, because after all, things look a bit different when you can see the full arm. But even when you move out, it looks like the lugs are just barely beyond the edge of my wrist, and 16 is maybe 1 centimeter too small for this watch. So if your wrist is 17 centimeters circumference and up, batter up. Okay, taking a quick look, strap, high grade, alligator leather on the top, alligator leather on the bottom, thick cut, large symmetrical rectangular scales. This is the good stuff, an expensive cut of leather. Matte finish, monotone stitch, sheer cut edges, dark brown. We've got gator on the bottom, small round scale, gator on both sides, a more expensive but longer lasting strap. And you can see this is a Louis Chopard strap in brand new condition. Jumping over to the other side here, we've got a folding clasp, as you'd expect on a watch of this caliber. Double fold deployant. You can see we have a buckle that is externally satinated and polished for contrast. We have vertical satin on the flanks, which is nice because that echoes the design of the case band. Quite secure. Remember, as always, a deployant clasp is there to form a full loop with the other side of the strap and prevent you from accidentally dropping the watch. Now, taking a quick look, the case is sheer, and this is where we find that vertical satination. The lugs, when viewed end-on, are polished, and then we have a bezel that actually has a unique design, the likes of which I've never seen. You can see there is a concave step that retreats from the case band, and then where it actually abuts the sapphire, it's a domed profile. So it's not all concave, it's half concave, and then the other half is convex. Unusual and distinctive. You can see the Louis Chopard logo on the crown, and then we have pushers that are actually stepped. If you look carefully, you can see they have a fluting outboard, and they're of a combination of satin and polish for contrast. We have little pusher adjusters that can be used. You see them on the case flanks for adjusting the calendar mechanism. This is a flyback chronograph, which means you reset and restart without first stopping. It's great for events that occur in rapid succession and timing them on the fly when the transition from one to the other needs to be almost instantaneous. Now we have a dial that is solid gold. You can see it's been silvered, but it is a disc of solid gold. And it's been cut with a sunray motif, and rather than originating from a point underneath the hands, as on most sunray dials, the sunray actually originates from the Louis Chopard marquee and the grande date, or the large double-digit date. You can see it is a chronometer. Outboard, we have a upwardly stepped track that adds another focal plane to the dial. It has a polished chapter ring on its inboard face. That step can be used for reading seconds, fractions of seconds, as well as minutes. Perhaps the biggest surprise with this watch is that it is actually quite well loomed. Only the two hands, but you have no trouble reading this in the dark. Now, the watch includes a number of different elements that are integral to the calendar. So we have a combination of the day with an AM/PM. The day-night indicator lets you know when not to use the pusher adjusters to correct the calendar. You don't want to make corrections during the nighttime. So we have the AM/PM, and then we have the day. We have the double-digit date. We have the leap year phase. We have the month, and then we have a moon, and this moon actually orbits the coaxial seconds hand, so it actually moves around, and it also changes phase as that little ellipse gradually overcomes and then relieves itself as the moon waxes and wanes. Now you can see this solid gold dial has a lovely sunray motif, and atop it there's more gold. We have alternately polished and satinated gold tracks that ring the bi-counters, and then we have rose gold radially arrayed Roman numerals with a watchmaker's 4 over at 4 o'clock. We have these delta style or hybrid hands at center, somewhere between an alpha hand, a baton, and a dauphine. You can see they're faceted. We have a little red varnished chronograph seconds hand. Turn it all over, things get even more intense. You can see the movement is stunning. This is a Louis-Ulysse Chopard caliber 03.10L. So manual wind. This manual wind movement gives you 60 hours of power reserve. It beats away at 4 hertz. It pivots on 42 joules. It is adjusted in 5 positions. It is a COSC certified Swiss chronometer. You can also see on both the bridge and on the movement ring the Poisson de Genève. So we have a watch that is both movement and full watch assembly, Geneva Hallmark certified. You can also see that this is fair mined gold, which is nice to know for peace of mind. Now, all of this features a free sprung balance, and you can see that it's beaten away at 4 hertz. The watch does include, let's stop everything there, a hacking seconds function, which is nice for precise setting. You can also see that the bridges and plates are made of German silver, or Maillot, since we're not in Germany. Maillot is a combination of nickel, copper, and zinc, with the copper giving the bridges and plates their distinctive golden hue that grows darker with time. This is a throwback to the pocket watch era. Now you can see there are lovely finishing elements, including engine turning in 2 different sizes of perlage. We have stripes across the bridges. We have black polished screws with chamfered circumference as well as slots. All the chronograph components, which you can see here, are made of steel, so they're silvery, and you can see they're satinated across their top and mirror beveled on their edges. We have a combination of a column wheel, black polished, that is your function selector, and then the actual engagement of the chronograph is by a vertical clutch. So you can see the chronograph seconds hand starts up without any jump, and if you like to leave your chrono running, you can do that with a vertical clutch because there's no additional wear and tear. The perpetual calendar can deal with leap years, irregular length months. If you keep the watch running, you don't need to reset it until the year 2100, and the moon phase has an adjustment interval of 122 years. Taking a look at some of the other finishing elements here, you can see satination on the wheels as well as the steel components. And then my favorite detail, you can see that the bevels are quite broad and handsome. And you'll also note, for example, right underneath my finger, there are some very sharp inward angles that are well executed, as well as outward points where 2 bevels come to a point. Bevels that come to a point or an inward crease, very, very difficult to achieve. You can also see that the jewel and the screw sinks have also been internally beveled, which is quite impressive. And then all of this is water resistant down to 30 meters, but don't take it swimming. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details of this 20-piece rose gold Louis-Ulysse Chopard Perpetual Chrono.